Life is like a hurricane here in Duckburg. So, ladies and gentlemen, if this is your first time joining us, my name is Brandon Noel. I'm a cartoonist who's been kicking around since '09. Um, I gotta watch the M's. Anyway, today, this whole month, basically, I'm getting my ducks in a row. Uh, you'll see why. You'll see how that's funny right there. That's funny. Um, we're I'm doing basically trying to do two sets of videos a week. They're all kind of recorded at the beginning of the month, so I won't be commenting on anything as it's happening or new developments. But I have a podcast, Bookies, where me and a group of friends talk about books and literature. And this is kind of just my own little thing to talk about comic books and just having a little fun and sketching around. I treat these kind of like con sketches. Um, but each month I kind of have a theme or a character, hopefully tying into new releases. In the month of what is it? Not January, December, January. I do these a little in advance, so forgive me. In January, um, there's honestly like nothing new coming out, unfortunately. And so I thought I'd take this time to kind of talk about DuckTales, the Duck universe, my favorite characters, and it's going to be fun. I don't know if you've seen the new DuckTales series on Disney. I don't have cable, but I paid for it on iTunes. Ooh, so good, so good. I've watched that pilot probably about 5 or 6 times now. They only have 8 episodes up as of this recording. Disney, I need more Ducktales. I need the Ducktales. Um, but I'm just gonna have a little fun sketching around. Um, I thought I would draw my favorite kind of duck characters set in that universe. Darkwing. He has not appeared on the new DuckTales show. In the pilot, there was a little nod to Saint Picard, or Saint Bernard, the town that Darkwing is from or was from, as well as like the town that Tailspin was from. That whole thing. I was never a fan of Tailspin. Even as a kid, I just couldn't like. I had seen the Jungle Book, and I couldn't kind of like make the mental gymnastics for this to work because Jungle Book was more. Well, it's a Jungle Book. Yes, anamorphic animals talking and singing, but they were still very much, you know, they were very much kind of its own. It was in its own universe. Um, I couldn't make the mental gymnastics for Tailspin of like, well, Baloo was just a bear, and now he's a smuggler, and he's got a little orphan boy with him, and a little orphan bear, and they're fighting uh, sky pirates. I just, even as a kid, I was just like, just name it. Just even as a kid, I thought, well, this is kind of a cash grab with a recognizable character because we know we know Baloo from Jungle Book, but it never felt like a Jungle Book thing. Um, as a kid, I loved Darkwing Duck. Um, and of course, he was a spin off of DuckTales. Um, there has been some, I don't want to say some conspiracy, but some shenanigans where the creators of DuckTales kind of said that Darkwing is set in its own universe and had nothing to do with DuckTales. But that is just shenanigans of the highest degree. And the reason why I say that is in the pilot of the DuckTales series, like, we know Lunchpad kind of got fired from Scrooge McDuck. And, ended up coming on as Darkwing's sidekick in the first episode. And then, of course, there were other characters who crossed over as well. Um, Gizmo Duck and that kind of thing. So, yeah, I just, um, that is just shenanigans of the highest order. This was always one of my favorite characters as a kid. I don't think I'm getting them right, though. I'm drawing them with more of a bulkier chest, but yeah, even as a kid, I always loved Darkwing and Batman the Animated Series. The fact that they were on pretty much at the same time was pretty impressive. It kind of made his beak a little too big. Didn't look right. Yeah, I'm screwing up this beak. I don't know what it is. I'm trying to stay on model. When I draw cartoon characters like this at cons and stuff, half the time I have on my phone the actual model sheets. Um, and yeah, I play with it a little bit, but I feel the model sheets are there for professional reference, so I don't feel like it's cheating or swiping. Um, but yeah, that's just my personal opinion. We're supposed to be talking about more or less DuckTales, but yeah, Darkwing kind of came out of DuckTales. There was a character, Double O Duck. It was a Bond parody um, on the original DuckTales series, and they tried to spin him off onto his own thing, and it didn't work. I don't know if they ever made it to an actual pilot of Double O Duck. I know there's an episode of in DuckTales with Double O Duck. And he was less Batman, less pulpy, more Bond, more super spy kind of stuff. And some of that shows in Darkwing. You know, his big, yeah, he had a couple of major villains, but one of his big ones was Foul, and I forget what Foul stands for, but it was basically their Spectre, their evil spy organization. It's incredible. I actually remember this stuff. I do have the first two seasons on DVD. Disney, I love you, Disney. But when are you going to release the third season of Darkwing Duck? This is insane. You put the first two box sets out and just forgot there was a third season? Is that what happened? So, I, as a Darkwing Duck fan, can't even watch the third season. I am a grown man who does not have kids. I will buy these things. Because I like my Darkwing Duck. I always sign before I color because, like I said, I'm working with Sharpie, and it becomes really hard to lay down Sharpie marker on top of watercolor. Well, my wife doesn't even like when I sign before I've painted, but really, it's either I do it now or it doesn't get signed. Or it gets signed on the back. Yeah, I put Darkwing up there as a legitimate cartoon superhero. He's in the same ballpark as Mighty Mouse and was it Blue Falcon and Space Ghost. Some would call that heresy. How dare I put him in the same category as Space Ghost? But you know, just I see him as a cartoon superhero. You know, he was a fun character that I Batman was really big in the 90s, partly because of Tim Burton's Batman, and then partly because of like Batman the Animated Series and all that kind of stuff. And so yeah, he's definitely a parody of what was going on, but he was an early parody because they were trying to do a Bond thing and then switch midstream to more of a shadow Batman kind of thing. There's one episode that never sat well with me where they give the secret origin of Darkwing Duck, and it can't be canonical. It just can't be. But basically, they parody Superman with the baby and the rocket and all that kind of stuff. That just never. It's a fun one to watch, but even as I was a kid, I was like, bull. It's non-canon. They've talked about in the new series, supposedly Darkwing Duck will appear at some point. I hope sooner than later. They've already hinted at Robo Duck or Gizmo Duck. I don't know if I'll do Gizmo Duck. I like Gizmo Duck. He's a fun one to draw. But half the time when I do these Darkwing Duck sketches or these kinds of the Duckburg heroes at conventions, they get a lot of interest, but no one actually buys them. I'm still sitting on 2 or 3 Darkwing Duck sketches. I don't know why. A lot of people come over and go, "Oh my God, Darkwing Duck," and then they never buy it. Maybe it's just my luck. I don't know. I know IDW was doing a Darkwing Duck comic series for a while. I didn't get to read it. I'll pick it up in trades and stuff just because I like Darkwing Duck. It looked really good from the covers I saw. So, but yeah, Darkwing was always one of my favorites. Really enjoying the new the new take on DuckTales. All right, there you have it, Darkwing Duck. So please like, subscribe, tell your friends, share the video. I'm going to be working on more of these. Hopefully, they'll be coming out on a more regular basis. Thank you for your time. Have fun.